My name is Token D Rock here with another stream. It is Thursday, August 11th, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time if you're watching us live. Overall crypto market cap is sitting at $1.141 trillion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 40.2%, ETH dominance at 19.7%. We can see Bitcoin is chilling at $24,000, ETH 1844, BNB 335, Solana at $42.31, Cardano again at 53 cents. Overall, not too much has changed in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin was rallying to roughly almost $25,000 before fizzling out. Bears have driven price down towards 24,500. We'll see if the Bulls can put in a higher high or if they're going to be rejected right here and Bears are going to take charge. Time will tell. Looking at the 1-day chart, bear flag seems to be about invalidated here potentially in the next 24 hours, depending on how Bitcoin goes. Or unless it just dumps, then it could invalidate it that way, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. The topic of today's video is more or less talking about how the recession's coming, but just when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Are we experiencing it right now? I'd argue we are. Others are saying we're not going to really feel it until after the elections, the midterm elections here in the U.S., because markets don't want to reflect one side, negatively. Basically, the party in charge, whoever it is, depending on the election, doesn't want things looking super bad going into the elections. So, personally, I think it's a little too late for that, but in this scenario, but typically they want the markets in the best condition possible, or not the worst conditions, basically. Former New York Stock Exchange president, a lot of institutions bought Bitcoin as it went to $17,000. Justin Interactive Brokers now offers 24/7 Bitcoin trading. Just in 30 million users can now buy Bitcoin through Brazilian payments app PicPay. Over in Brazil, Bitcoin Research and Development Center called Vintum just launched a nonprofit organization. It will train and fund open source developers to work on Bitcoin and the Lightning Network in Brazil and across Latin America. A lot of developments happening over in Brazil. Looks like Brazil is going to be a powerhouse when it comes to crypto. Over in Namibia, they just got their first Bitcoin ATM installed. No stopping now. Again, the reaches of which crypto and Bitcoin are going to access the future users of not just Bitcoin and crypto, but also the Lightning Network and the other associated networks, is pretty incredible. The reach that Bitcoin and crypto has across the globe. More and more people are starting to see the utility behind it. Breaking e-commerce platform Launchcart will accept Bitcoin and integrate Lightning Network payments, native money for the internet. BlackRock is launching a private trust focused on Bitcoin. There is substantial interest in Bitcoin from institutional clients despite the steep downturn in the market. BlackRock manages $10 trillion, pretty massive stuff. U.S. regulators may ask hedge funds to disclose Bitcoin and crypto exposure. This is coming from Wall Street Journal. This is from Biden just yesterday. Today we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July, 0%. That's factually wrong. is 8.5% inflation. Yes, it is down from June's CPI number, but it was 9.1 in June, 8.5 for July. So saying 0% is factually incorrect. I'm confused. Why are we passing the Inflation Reduction Act if inflation is 0%? Investors be like, back in March, they're like, you know, they're like in a in a straight jacket, like comforting themselves, like, oh my god. And now in August, inflation is 8.5% for the month of July. It's like, oh yeah, markets got to rally before the election, midterms or whatever. Uh, Staying on the topic of Mr. Biden, under his watch, the FBI basically went and ransacked Mr. former President Donald Trump's place of residence over in Mar-a-Lago, uh, kicked the politics out of it, and it's kind of effed up either way you look at it. And Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, commented on it, commented on the Trump FBI raid and said, "What would the U.S. say if I did that?" And it's very good point that he makes because the U.S. likes to act like they have moral superiority over other countries when another country leader like this guy does something to former president, let's say of El Salvador, the U.S. will step in and be like, "Oh, that was inappropriate. It was unwarranted. That's uncalled for. That's not very democratic or whatever." So he's kind of highlighting the irony. But when we do it, it's okay. Serbian farmers also rise up. Roads leading to government offices in Novi Sad and I'm not going to even try and pronounce that, are blocked due to fuel cost rises. If you do not meet our demands, we block the whole country. So there's that clip. People in Italy are pretty fed up with their leadership. Media claims Italians love Mario Draghi. Then there's the reality in the video the Italians mentioned above. We don't forget it will be a very hot autumn. They're pissed, dude. And because Italian government, in coordination with a bunch of other governments, are mandating that certain medical procedures be required to go to the grocery store, to have a job, to go to a bar, a nightclub, a restaurant, etc. And a lot of people around the world are starting to get fed up with these policies, these two-tiered standards of living. We have the lower caste of society that's not able to do X, Y, and Z, while the higher caste of society is able to do everything. You can see that between a lot of these politicians claiming, you got to get rid of your car or just switch over to electric, get an EV, blah, 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 eat bugs. In 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's pretty radical what is being said and trying to be implemented across the globe, and a lot of people are collectively just getting fed up with it. So it's pretty wild. Over in Germany, again, talking about medical procedures, health minister plans for color coded vaccine passports from autumn, forcing those who do not regularly complied, have not regularly complied to follow different rules. Green, amber, and red, just like China. It didn't go away. It's only just begun. Corona Warn app vaccination status will be recognized by color. Again, this is kind of like something out of a horror film, or again, kind of like I hate to draw the comparison, but reverting to certain countries in World War II that were on the Axis. And I think, and you know who I'm talking about. And I think if we drew a little mustache, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Other interesting thing is a lot of these policies being implemented across the globe are all part of candidates, political candidates that are more or less um, on the side of the WEF, or the World Economic Forum. So you can see we got Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Angela Merkel, Emmanuel Macron, Biden, Jacinda Ardern. So Canada, New Zealand, UK, Germany, Israel, France, US, and I'm not too sure about these two, but again, not the greatest look. If there's such thing as a conspiracy, that kind of looks like it, if you ask me. I will leave you with this, you guys. This is again very hypocritical from uh, certain certain politicians prior to the election in 2020. They were quote unquote anti-vaxxers. But as soon as they got in office, they became gung ho about it.
I was hesitant when Donald Trump was out there controlling the CDC and controlling the FDA and manipulating them and making them put out falsehoods. Anybody rational was hesitant.
Do I read you to say you would be hesitant to receive the vaccine if it were approved by the end of the year? Yes, I would be hesitant.
We can't trust the president and take his word and take a vaccine that
I
might
don't know. What do you guys think
harm
of this?
to
I
us.
think this is just comical
like
how
Facebook for the misinformation.
hypocritical a lot of these politicians
If and when the
are.
vaccine comes, it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to
Let
be
me
done,
know
trials
what
that
you
need
guys
to be
think
done.
about
The
all
Biden
this down
campaign
below in
saying
the comment
essentially if a
section. I
vaccine
hope
comes
you
out
guys
before
enjoyed the
election
video. If you did,
shouldn't
please
be
like and
trusted.
subscribe.
Who's
The
gonna take the
notification
shot?
bell to be notified when we
take
go
the shot?
live
But if
next.
Donald Trump tells us
Should
that,
be
then
on
he's taking it. I'm not taking it.
here
This will be the
10:30
first
a.m.
one to say,
Central
"Put me,
Standard
sign me
Time
up." They now say
tomorrow
it's
morning.
okay.
So hope to see you then. Till then, take care and invest wisely. I'll let this play though.
Here's a vaccine. It was new. It was done quickly. But trust this federal administration and their health administration that it's safe.
We will need to have access to the vaccine results so we can make our independent assessment to make sure that Donald Trump's fingerprints are not on it.
We cannot take for granted this process will be free of political influence.
Question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency. We're not 100% sure of the consequences.
And that there is a pressure put on the decision makers here to announce a vaccine in October of 2020.
If the president announced tomorrow we have a vaccine, would you take it? Only if it was completely transparent. To me, someone other than this FDA and this CDC saying it's safe. Only if we knew all of what went into it. I think it's going to be a very skeptical American public about taking the vaccine, and they should be.
What is in it for them, for their own people to die?
Is one of their sponsors a coffin manufacturer?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.